it's an incredible win because of who we beat. You know, it's not just a great team; it's a great program. It's a historic program. You know, I've known Coach Self forever and have tremendous respect for the way he does it, year in and year out. And you know, you hear me say it sometimes when we lose. It's a make shot, miss shot game, and we won tonight because we made shots and they didn't make as many. And our guys executed the plan of trying to muddy up the paint and keep it out of KJ and Hunter's hands the best we could. And we were going to live with a few of their guys shooting three-point shots. And fortunately, when they missed, you know, for the most part, we did a pretty good job of cleaning up the glass. So, you know, really proud of, you know, Pop, you know, has been sick. Ryan hasn't practiced for a week. Steven's thrown up at halftime. And he hasn't practiced. So, I mean, for us to gut this out and execute the plan with not a lot of practice time is really a credit to our guys.
Questions for the student athletes first.
Pop, what got you in the zone tonight? Was it just some things you were able to create off the bounce, or a shot falling? What do you think got you?
I don't know. I just saw the ball go through the basket. That was really it. First shot went in. It felt good coming off my hands, and I feel like I got some really good looks tonight. Like Coach said, I'm a really good shooter when I take the right shots, and I feel like I took the right shots tonight for the most part. So, yeah.
Pop, how did your previous experience playing Kansas in the Big 12 help you tonight? Was there anything that you saw that was familiar to you?
I mean, yeah, I was familiar with, you know, their pressure and how they play defense. I'm real familiar with DeJuan Harris, like my fourth time playing against them. So, for sure helped. You know, but, you know, we had two completely different game plans from, you know, the past and, you know, what Coach wanted to accomplish tonight. And, you know, it worked, and we went out there and got a win tonight. So.
Hey, Ryan, that's two straight number one opponents that have gone down, you know, with Connecticut. How does this one feel compared to that one?
Yeah, I think both feel great. Obviously, both those teams, UConn and Kansas, are elite high-level programs. So just whenever you're able to, you know, execute the game plan, play at a high level, you know, you feel good about those wins and you take them and you learn from it and move forward.
Ryan, when did you feel like you could go? Like, I guess versus go versus be effective enough to help your team as opposed to hurt it.
3 minutes into the game?
Yeah. Yeah, we like Max said, I didn't practice last week, so it's kind of just figuring it out today, what I wouldn't be able to do, and ended up working out that I could play, so it went well.
Pop, there was a point late in the second half where you hit, I think your 6-3 or 5-3, and you ran back down the court and you were kind of waving on the student section. What was a moment like that like for you, where the building's going nuts and you're hitting for three and you guys are up double digits on the number one team in the country?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't quite had a moment like that in college yet, so it was dope. I haven't played against the number one team in the country yet. I've played against 2 and 3, I believe, so I don't know. I was just hype. It was a great, you know, atmosphere tonight in the arena, great vibe. The students showed out, you know, our fans showed out, and it was just electric in there, man, so.
Was that your first court storm in college?
No, that wasn't my first court storm, I don't believe. No, I don't think it was. It was the biggest one, though.
What was that moment like for both of you guys? Brian, you went through that last year.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the court storming like for both of you guys?
Yeah, it was dope. Just to see the students, you know, show that type of energy was fun, man. You know, especially it was special just because we beat, you know, the number one team in the country. You know, just because who we beat, I think it made it that much more special. So.
Yeah, and I think it's just really fun to see the fans and all that having fun, student section rushing the court. I personally try to stay out of the way and not get ran over, but no, it's really cool to see that.
Ryan, Kansas and Creighton have a lot of recent history, specifically in the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel to finally get this one?
It felt good. What was the last time? I didn't play last
You didn't
time.
play, you were hurt.
Yeah, didn't play last time, so it felt good to be on the court, number ones. But yeah, like we've been saying, Kansas obviously is an incredible program, great history, good year in and year out. So to be able to beat them is really good and really kind of shows the level that we can play at when we're doing everything we're supposed to do.
Ryan, Hunter was only held to 6 points tonight. I know that it was somewhat of a group effort, but you had that matchup, obviously, for most of the night. What do you think you did well on the block?
Obviously, he's a high-level player, so just being really, really locked in on what he does. You know, obviously as a shot blocker, you want to be off and kind of help, but you kind of got to keep in the back of your head, I got a really talented big man I'm guarding here. So it's definitely finding the balance between, staying locked in on him and picking my spots to go challenge other people's shot. But, yeah, he's, like I said, he's a talented player, so he makes it really hard.
Two more from the student athletes.
Ryan, was there anything different about, I guess, angles-wise, activity-level-wise that allowed you to, create openings for your teammates to find you in easy scoring spots?
I think that's just, the past few games I played in, it hasn't necessarily been that no one's been looking for me or anything like that. We just haven't made as many shots. So, when you're not making as many shots, it's not, forcing people to guard the perimeter as much. We started making shots there. I mean, Pop's obviously an elite shooter, Steven, Mason, all those guys are elite. So it's just a matter of time. So that's part of it. And the other part of it is just, we got great playmakers. Pop and Steve are always making the right play and looking for open guys. So I don't know that's anything too drastically different. Just kind of broke our way this time.
Pop, it felt like every time they had something, whether it was early in the second half or the first or later in the second, every time they'd string something together, you guys would respond and kind of push back your lead. What was it about this team that allowed you guys to just keep swinging away even when they were throwing punches?
Yeah, we've been through a lot of adversity early on in this season, man. So I think, we were prepared for, we knew they were going to make a run. And we were just, had to punch back when they punched us. So, they're a really good team. And, to beat really good teams, you have to have an answer for some things. And I feel like we had an answer in key moments tonight and, kept sticking to our game plan, packing the paint. DeJuan Harris is, we forced him to shoot 21 times tonight. Like, if we could do that, that was a win for us. You know what I mean? So.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, y'all.
Be careful, that big boy.
So, Mac, two-part question. I guess first, given the circumstances of illness and injury, to you, how improbable was it that you guys were able to do what you did? And then the second part of that is in your coaching career, have you ever found that when a team kind of is up against it, like you guys are health-wise, that sometimes that causes you to hone in and zero in a little bit more maybe than you normally would, even though it's the number one team, you probably would anyway?
Well, I called my 90-year-old father on the way to the game and asked him if he had any insight before I entered the arena, and he said, I'd just pack your bags and go back home, is what he told me. So he wasn't very confident, having watched us play and watched Kansas play. But, it was important that the guys that couldn't practice, at least mentally, were locked into what we were doing. And, Steven and Kalk didn't practice at all. Steven maybe went 10 minutes a day the last 2 days. Pop was really out of it Monday, still coming off that illness. But I think they understood the game plan that we were going to try to execute and try to muddy things up a little bit and be okay with some guys shooting it and other guys we wanted to take away. And I thought Pop did a great job. Zeke Mayo really hurt us the first half. Second half, I don't think he scored. So we did a better job defensively, especially after they punched us to start the second half. So, I don't know that I've ever been part of a team that's had this many things happen the first, going back to start of practice the end of September. I'm not sure we've had the whole team at a practice one time. And it's been different crazy things that are hard to imagine that they're actually taking place. And the worst time for them to take place for us is during this stretch of really difficult games. So for us to bounce back, coming off Vegas, we got beat badly by San Diego State. Probably let the A&M game get away, and then found a way to gut out the Notre Dame game to come home and get this one against a great program and a great team is a feather in the cap for our guys.
How big of a difference do you think it's maybe the gap between the speed and pace that Pop and Steven constantly played with tonight just had on stressing Kansas defense?
Yeah, it's what they lack in size, they certainly make up with speed. Their cutting was elite. They put a lot of pressure on the rim with some of those cuts. And, Kalk's good at understanding when to step out, set a flare, when to set a pin, when to post. He got those guys loose a lot. And, those cuts to the basket collapsed the defense, and now some of our shooters were able to get loose. And, those two have 10 assists between them. We got to cut the turnovers down. They know that. We're giving teams 8 to 10 extra possessions a game, and a lot of those turnovers are controllable. It's us trying to just hit a home run instead of just make the simple play. So we're gonna have to clean that up moving forward. But those two, they're always a threat. When they have and they never stop moving, which is it's very difficult to guard.
You talked about the adversity early in the season. How does a win like this just kind of change the complexity of the season heading into conference play?
With every team, you have new, unless you return everybody, you're selling a plan, you're selling a goal, you're selling a dream, and until you're able to have a win similar to this, when that happens, then you validate what you've been trying to teach and what you've been trying to get across. While I think they believed in what we were trying to say, we weren't having a lot of success. And, we lost one at home to Nebraska. We go and lose 2 in Vegas. So you don't ever want your team to doubt the plans you're trying to put in place. And a win like tonight, I think, okay, this works. Maybe this old guy knows what he's talking about, and if we follow a plan, it gives us a chance. But every team is like that. You go through it, you try to figure it out. You got all these new pieces you're trying to get to fit together. Today when guys' numbers were called, they rang the bell. Mason Miller hits 2 big shots. Jason Green doesn't play the whole game. I decided to go with him the last 7 minutes of the game for defense. He went out there and played his tail off. And, if a guy's over there hanging his head because he hasn't played, he's not going to be ready for that 7 minutes. And clearly that wasn't the case with Jason.
Mac, you said after a couple of games that this team was built on shot making. Is a game like this where you guys hit shots and open everything up, is this what you had envisioned for this
Yeah,
team?
I mean, most of our teams have been built on shot making, and everybody tries to build it different. And now, in the world that we live in now, and you also have a budget with which you have to build it with. So you're limited somewhat by what your budget is to try to build a team, and that's just the reality of the world we live in. And we've chosen to go with skill, and it's worked for us. Is it been perfect for us so far this year? No, but this is what we're capable of. We still have a lot of work to do and a lot of room to grow. We're far from a finished product.
2 more for Coach.
Do you think tonight gives you a little more confidence with the shot making thing?
Yeah, like Pop said, you see one go in, it just kind of changes everything, And Isaac played and did some great things on the backboards and defensively. Didn't get a lot of looks. They made Jackson's looks were tough, but that spacing creates things for Pop and Steven and Kalk because you have to guard those guys, and you have to be next to them because they all get it off so quick. So hopefully this is a shot in the arm for them, and they come back ready to go tomorrow because we lost to UNLV in Vegas last year. That'll be a big test for us Saturday afternoon.
Hey, Mac, does this one feel any different than Connecticut, with Connecticut being a Big East opponent and this being Kansas?
I mean, part of, I just have such a history with Coach Self, and, I've been watching Kansas basketball forever, so you just, back to Coach Williams and then Coach Self, obviously, and just, they're one of the best. And we had some, Doug texted me. He said that makes up for we had some close calls in Hilton when I was at Iowa State where we walked out of there pretty disappointed that we weren't able to get the job done against a good Kansas team. So, to finally beat them, when they had a great team and they're ranked number 1 in the country is, it's great for our guys. It's great for our fans. And, our fans were incredible. I talked to some of the Kansas people. They said the atmosphere was electric, and that's coming from a place that plays in an electric atmosphere every game. So our fans showed up, they were ready, and we really needed in the second half when we got in a little bit of trouble, and they were able to uplift us.
Did you get to see Billy Blue Jay dunk? Any reaction to that?
What's that?
The mascot dunk?
I did not see that. I was preoccupied.
Anybody need a game book?